Jasper Jones is a coming-of-age novel written by Craig Silvey about Charlie Buckton, a young boy living in rural Australia in the fictional town of Corrigan, where throughout the story, Charlie uncovers the truth behind the death of the town shire's daughter, Laura Wishart. Throughout the story, Charlie loses his innocence as he stumbles across themes of prejudice, racism, and abuse. At its core, Jasper Jones is a story about how truth will and will not set you free. In the story of Jasper Jones, there are many different examples of truth setting someone free and holding them back. Laura Wishart is the town shire president's eldest daughter. Her death at the start of the story is a perfect example of how knowing the truth can hold you back and set you free. For example, when Charlie first learns about Laura Wishart's death, he says to himself, "I am dizzy and sick, and it's as though touching her has sealed my fate. I am in this story. She can't be ignored. She's real. I've touched her now. I've been privy to her last moments of heat, her last wisps of smoke." This quote from Charlie shows his inner thoughts at that moment. He feels dizzy and sick because of his knowledge of Laura's death. Craig Silvey uses an idiom of, "It's as though touching her has sealed my fate," which perfectly captures how knowing, or in this case, touching the truth, has caused Charlie to become sick. The knowledge of Laura Wishart's death, in this instance, has not freed Charlie, but instead held him back as he now feels worse than if he was oblivious to the situation. While the previous example shows how Laura's death can hold you back, Charlie is ultimately free because of this knowledge. Towards the end of the story, because Charlie was exposed to these truths, such as Laura's death, he matures and gains new knowledge, to the point where, when Eliza Wishart burns her house down, he understands that the police will be after Jasper, and that he will be alright. Falling out of the world. They'll never find him. He's too smart and too fast for them. He's too clever and canny. Unlike in the beginning of the story, where he panics in front of the truth, he lets the truth and the knowledge of Jasper Jones on the run set him free, as although he cannot do anything to help, he decides that everything will be alright, as he is too clever and canny. Craig Silvey repeats the word, too, in order to reinforce Charlie's belief that Jasper will be okay. Charlie knows the truth, and instead of freaking out like at the start of the story, Charlie finds peace with it. Because of Charlie's new mindset, the truth has set him free. A consistent theme in Jasper Jones is the idea of judging a book by its cover. This can be seen various times in the story, through characters such as Jasper Jones, Jeffrey Liu, the police, and others. One good example where we can see truth setting someone free is the part where Charlie and Jasper go to confront Mad Jack Lionel about Laura's death and comes to find out that he is not a crazy murderer but instead a normal old man. "I don't know who this man is, but he didn't kill anybody. I've done everything wrong. Mad Jack Lionel isn't a criminal. He's probably not even mad. He's just old and sad and poor and lonely." This quote shows how Charlie has realized that Mad Jack Lionel is not a crazy murderer and just an old man. "I don't know who this man is, but he didn't kill anybody," could be a way of conveying how Mad Jack Lionel is misunderstood, and in a way, nobody knows who he truly is. Another example of judging books by their covers is Jasper Jones himself. At the beginning of the book, it is explained how Jasper Jones is a town outcast. Jasper Jones has a terrible reputation in Corrigan. He's a thief, a liar, a thug, a tyrant. He's lazy and unreliable. He's feral and an orphan. Or as good as. His mother is dead and his father is no good. He's the rotten model that parents often as a warning. This is how you'll end up if you're disobedient. Jasper Jones is an example of where poor aptitude and attitude will lead. This quote is directly what the townspeople of Corrigan think of Jasper. He is living in poor conditions, and people use him as an example of how someone can go wrong. Craig Silvey uses repetition again in order to further show how the parents believe that he is a thief, a liar, a thug, and a tyrant, when in reality he is none of those things. He only does the things he does out of necessity. Both cases show how knowing the truth can set you free. In the first example, Charlie and Jasper both realize the truth of Mad Jack Lionel, and it has set them free from the fear of him. Evident when Charlie goes to get peach seeds from his backyard as a test of courage. Because Charlie knows the truth about Mad Jack Lionel, he does not have to worry when taking peaches from his yard. In the second example, the townspeople are too judgmental towards Jasper. They assume he is a no-good thief, and they do not understand that people can be different to how they look. By not knowing the truth, they helped hide Pete Wishart's behavior, ultimately holding them back. I believe that knowing the truth will set you free. This can be seen throughout the story of Jasper Jones. Although some truths can initially hold someone back, such as the knowledge of Laura Wishart's death, they ultimately grow from that truth, freeing them.